This is Mayor Chris Bollwage, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Our City. Please keep advised that the City of Elizabeth and the County of Union have plenty of vaccines available and time. You can visit ucnjvaccine.org, City of Elizabeth website, elizabethnj.org, any of our social media sites for information. If you've been vaccinated, great, get a booster, and keep our numbers low. We should still continue to get vaccinated, follow the social distance rules, and personal responsibility is still extremely important. If you're with a group of people and you think you need to wear a mask, then wear it. Don't worry about what other people say. Protect yourself. I'm pleased to be joined by Ms. Siani Rodriguez, who is the manager of the IKEA store here in the City of Elizabeth. As many of you may know, IKEA opened here in the City of Elizabeth in 1989. It has been, at one point, the largest performing store in the IKEA chain in North America, and it still is one of the best performing stores in the IKEA operation. And Ms. Rodriguez and I had the opportunity to tour IKEA. Not that I haven't been there, but I got to see firsthand on the buyback program that they're doing at IKEA, which is absolutely fascinating. And I hope some of you that are watching here today can get some ideas about maybe some of the furniture you have at IKEA, or go back and shop there if you can in the future. Siani, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
So, first of all, the first question is always, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Siani Rodriguez. I have been with IKEA for 28 years. So I started in the Woodbridge, Virginia store. So currently...
Only five when you started, right?
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I actually started, I had quite a journey within IKEA. I started off as a part-time bistro cashier. So I was serving cinnamon buns and hot dogs to our customers, and have had a really fantastic career with IKEA. And now I am the store manager here in Elizabeth. And it's been my pleasure to be in Elizabeth for the last a year and a half, almost 2 years. Super excited.
Now, your trajectory at IKEA when we met has been fascinating. You told me you've moved around with IKEA a little bit through the country. Tell us about some of the different stops you've been with in IKEA.
Absolutely. So I spent, of course, the majority of my career I spent in Woodbridge, Virginia. And then I had a fantastic opportunity to be what we call a deputy store manager, which is a store manager in training. So IKEA moved me across the country to the West Coast. So I lived in Seattle, so quite different than the DC area. Seattle with their beautiful skylines and the mountains in the background was spectacular. So I spent about a year within Seattle. And then I had the great opportunity to move back to the East Coast, and was in Pittsburgh for 3 years as the store manager there. And then had an opportunity to come here to Elizabeth, to New Jersey, and I snapped that opportunity up for sure. So I'm very excited, was excited to come to the Elizabeth area.
So, Siani, we're big on Elizabeth and big on IKEA together. What makes you, after DC, Pittsburgh, Seattle, what's special about Elizabeth?
Well, I think what I feel is very special about Elizabeth is the diversity that's in this community. As a Latina from Puerto Rico, it's fantastic to see, to be part of this really eclectic community. And I think that that's where I thrive in, and I think that that's what makes Elizabeth so special when it comes to other locations.
So we've always said here in Elizabeth that diversity is the strength of our community, and as a newcomer, you've noticed that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And even in my store, we have a very diverse coworker population, which really reflects the local community as well.
Well, when I toured it, speaking of that, I met two guys there who knew each other in grade school, and they reconnected at IKEA after 30 years.
Absolutely. We have a lot of long timers here that have been with IKEA quite a bit of time and that are were from this area. So it's great to hear all the history when you were here and you guys were speaking about knowing the same people and being able to visit the same restaurants and the same locations. It was actually really fun to hear your stories.
So, Siani, how would you describe IKEA as a corporate neighbor to the viewers? Some people maybe never heard of IKEA, hard to believe, but how would you describe IKEA?
So IKEA, we are a furniture store, but we're a little bit more than just a furniture store. Our main mission is to provide a better everyday life for the many, and we take that responsibility to heart, and we want to be known as the community, the big neighbor within the local area. So from an IKEA perspective, it's how do we take care of our people and how do we take care of our planet around us?
So speaking of the planet around us, when I had the good fortune of spending time with you and going through the building and meeting your staff, you talked about the sustainability efforts of IKEA, which I found fascinating. So can you please describe the sustainability from the corporate level and how you're implementing it in the city of Elizabeth?
Absolutely. So from a sustainability perspective, one of our anchors is people and planet. And within people and planet, we have three focus areas. One big focus area is healthy and sustainable living, which we provide that through our products that we have. If you walk the store, you'll see that we have stories connected to our sustainable products. So for instance, we have a food storage container that the reason it's so important from a sustainability perspective is that you can store your leftovers, and it can save you $1,800 a year by reducing the waste that you put into food waste. We also have the second focus that we have from a sustainability perspective is the circular opportunity, and that truly is about our buyback program. We want to ensure that we're giving second life to our products that we have, and we want to make sure that our products aren't that they get new memories with other families. So from a buyback perspective, that's an initiative that we started actually last year in November. We were one of the test stores, and yourself and your team was a big part of us actually being able to start this in the U.S. It was so successful for our store that now we have 35 other stores that are also implementing the buyback program. And then the last focus area that we have within sustainability is fair and equal pay. So in the city of Elizabeth, we take pride in this store specifically is that in January of this year, we were actually able to raise our minimum wage in our store to $17 an hour. So that's our entry level, and everyone that works here gets a minimum of 5 weeks paid time off. So we really talk about a fair and equal pay, but then also that there's a work-life balance within your home.
And you also told me, Siani, when you gave me that breakdown, that you're looking for employees too, right?
We are always looking for employees. We have positions posted. They're in all areas of the store. So anyone who's interested can go to IKEA.com and search for job careers, and that's where you would find the information.
So talking about the buyback program, explain it to a simple person like me. I have some table and chairs and end tables from IKEA. I no longer require them, or I'm moving out of state. I can bring them to IKEA in Elizabeth, or do I go on a website? Take pictures? What's this? How do you walk through the process?
Perfect. So the buyback program, the way we want you to start is, one, you're going to make that decision, right? You're ready to give that furniture to someone else. So what you would do is you would go onto IKEA.com And on our landing page, it actually has a big message on buyback. When you click on the buyback, you're able to then start the process because you have to fill out a form. So there's some things that we take back and some things that we don't. So from an IKEA, and it has to be IKEA product. So for instance, bookcases, desks, dining tables, storage units, those are the kind of things that when you fill out the buyback form, you will rate the condition your furniture piece is in. And then what happens is you get a quote and a QR code. And what you do is you bring, so for if it's a Billy bookcase, you bring that in. Whatever the quote is, we will inspect the merchandise when it comes in, and then we will give you a gift card for the quoted price. And what we do then is we take that price and we sell it in our as-is department for that same price that we quoted you as. So we don't make any extra sales on the product, but it's just a great initiative to give a second chance to our furniture.
And the gift card, you're hoping that those folks will then go back through IKEA and buy other stuff.
Absolutely. Hopefully you see something newer that may match your aesthetics today than what you're bringing back. Yep.
330 million tons of plastic are produced worldwide. Plastic bags are in the top most littered items in New Jersey. Beginning May 4th, New Jersey acts against non-degradable plastics. New Jersey's new statewide law bans all single-use plastic carry-out bags and polystyrene foam containers at grocery stores, restaurants, and retail outlets. For more information, visit the City of Elizabeth's website, elizabethnj.org or bagupnj.com.
Se producen 330 millones de toneladas de plástico en todo el mundo. Las bolsas de plástico son los artículos que más se tiran en Nueva Jersey. El 4 de mayo de 2022, Nueva Jersey actúa contra los plásticos no degradables. La nueva ley del estado de Nueva Jersey prohíbe todas las bolsas de plástico de un solo uso y los envases de espuma de poliesterino en las tiendas de comestibles, los restaurantes y los comercios minoristas. Para más información, visite el sitio web de la ciudad de Elizabeth, elizabethnj.org o bagupnj.com.
So some of the things you won't buy back are like mattresses, pillowcases, things like that.
Exactly. And then the one of the biggest ones that we won't is children's furniture. So any children's item, we actually have a no return or buyback from that. So yes, mattresses, any textiles, and children's items.
One of the things we talked about when we were there were charging stations. How IKEA is getting involved in charging stations. Tell us about the efforts at the Elizabeth store in there.
Absolutely. We have 4 charging stations at the moment. And in just 1 month's time, we are able to save enough, produce enough energy that saves 17 trees that for 10 years. So the growth of a tree, 17 trees, 10 years of its life is what we're able to save using our chargers.
And Gianni, the buyback program, the information you talk about, where can customers find it? Just a general IKEA website, or is there a specific Elizabeth website for the buyback program and everything else? Tell us where they can get that information.
Yeah, there's 2 places. It is on IKEA.com. But if you want to get even more specific, if you go to IKEA.com, you can actually go to the local store page. So you can put Elizabeth on there, and it'll bring you into our local page where that information is there too. So you have it in both areas.
And is there any way they could just show up with the stuff, or they really got to do the form online first?
They have to do the form online because we do also require for them to be IKEA family members. So it's a free program that we have, kind of like a loyalty program. So we ask customers to sign up for IKEA Family, do the registration and quote online before they come in, and then we can take care of them as soon in a faster way when they get to the store.
Well, one of the things we didn't cover, and my staff is really good at putting this question together, what happens if you do not resell the product?
Well, that hasn't happened, actually. We've had quite a few hundred pieces come in, and they've all sold within 24 hours. So if the product doesn't sell, the way we work is we may tweak the price to make it a little bit even more attractive, but we haven't had that problem. It has sold in 24 hours.
Do you pick up the products, or they all have to be delivered to you?
They would have to be delivered to us. So you do have to do some of the work in order to get the discount.
And what about when they get to that parking lot? You send out some big guys and help them carry it out of the truck, or?
If that's what they need, absolutely, absolutely.
And you introduced me to a team of people, and they are responsible for examining the product and before it's brought in. That's a whole team you have over there, correct?
We do. It's our actually our customer service returns team and our recovery team. What they do is they just inspect the product just to make sure that if you say it's in fair condition, that it's in fair condition when we get it, and that it's not in poor condition. And that's where the quote may change. But typically it stays what you were quoted. Yeah.
Are these only household goods? How about people that were using these items in a business or a commercial interest? Can they also be brought back?
Yeah, it's the household goods. If you have a whole series of business furniture, that's where it gets a little tricky, but we can always have that conversation at the store.
No, one of the reasons I ask is the chairs I'm sitting on and the table here in City Hall were donated by IKEA in order to help us with this studio years ago. And we've been doing this show for years, and even when we did it off-site, IKEA was always the donator of the furniture, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
yes.
No, go ahead.
No, absolutely. When it comes to your home office or the office that you have currently today, those are things that we can, it can be part of the buyback. When we talk about entire restaurants and with multiple desks and tables, those are where we, it's not part of the buyback.
Sure. Well, Sienna, I really want to thank you for joining us on this show today. I really appreciate the vivaciousness that you bring to IKEA. I think with you as a leader, we look forward to good partnerships between IKEA and the City of Elizabeth.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. I can't wait for us to do more partnerships together, and so I look forward to the future.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This is Mayor Chris Bollwage. I want to thank Ms. Gianni Rodriguez, the store manager at IKEA, for joining us on the show. And if you need something, go out to IKEA. It's a big store, lots of stuff. You'd enjoy the shopping experience. This is Mayor Chris Bollwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.